Hello and welcome back to my channel, Talented Reads. Today's video is another new releases video. I love doing these. I love looking at new releases. And this is going to be for the ones that are coming out in April. Same disclaimer, if you've seen these videos before, I'll put up the published date as I saw it at the time of filming, but as we all know, sometimes those dates change, so just keep that in mind when you're researching books. Also, I don't really read the full synopsis on books. I'm more of a blurb reader, so that's what I'll be reading here. All right, let's get into it. So I'm starting strong with April 2nd is The Skin Was Once Mine and Other Disturbances by Eric LaRocca. Says this is a brand new collection of 4 intense, claustrophobic, and terrifying horror tales from the Bram Stoker Award-nominated and Splatterpunk Award-winning author of Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke. Eric LaRocca is an auto-buy for me. His stuff is usually out there in terms of weirdness. But always very interesting to read, and I enjoy it all. He doesn't shy away from going there, if you know what I mean. So I'm really excited. Next is another awesome release. This is All the Fiends of Hell by Adam Neville. This is coming out April 2nd. He is a horror author. This sounds more sci-fi-ish, which is interesting to me. It says, The Red Knights of Bells heralds global catastrophe. What? Let's just keep reading. Annihilation on a biblical scale. Seeing the morning is no blessing. The handful of scattered survivors are confronted by blood-red skies and an infestation of predatory horrors that never originated on Earth, an occupying force intent on erasing the remnants of animal life from the planet. Across the deserted landscapes of England, barren of infrastructure and society, the overlooked can either hide or try to outrun the infernal haunting terrors until a rumor emerges claiming that the sea may offer an escape. Oh, I'm guessing the water is not a place you want to be. Yeah, this sounds like alien horror, and I'm here for it. Again, Adam Neville is pretty much an auto-buy for me, so. Next is Ghost Station by S.A. Barnes. This is another sci-fi horror coming out April 9th. It says a crew must try to survive on an ancient abandoned planet in the latest space horror novel from S.A. Barnes, acclaimed author of Dead Silence. So I did read Dead Silence. I think that came out last year. And it wasn't a favorite of mine, but I did like the writing, and I know there's potential there. I want to say Dead Silence was her debut. So I'm excited to pick this one up, and try again. And of course, y'all know me. I love people stranded somewhere. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. Next is The Gathering by C.J. Tudor. This is another horror coming out April 9th. It says a detective investigating a grisly crime in rural Alaska finds herself caught up in the dark secrets and superstitions of a small town in this riveting novel from the acclaimed author of The Chalkman. There's a whole, like, more synopsis. I don't want to read anymore because I don't want to spoil anything. Um, at this point, I have read most of what CJ Tudor has written, like all except one or two books, and she never lets me down. So I can't wait for this one, and I freaking love this cover. I don't know, it's like the colors, and it's still like ominous, and you got the Alaska, so it's kind of snowy. I just love it. Next is another sci-fi. This is Maul Goes to War by Edward Ashton. This comes out April 9th. This says the humans are fighting again. Go figure. Oh boy, isn't that accurate? As a free AI, Maul finds the war between the modded and augmented Federals and the puritanical humanists about as interesting as a battle between rival anthills. He's not above scouting the battlefield for salvage, and when the humanists abruptly cut off access to infospace, he finds himself trapped in the body of a cyborg mercenary and responsible for the safety of the modern girl she died protecting. A dark comedy wrapped in a techno-thriller skin, Maul Goes to War provides a satirical take on war, artificial intelligence, and what it truly means to be human. Sounds good. I came across Edward Ashton originally with his Mickey 7 duology, and I just freaking loved those books. I really like his characters and the landscape that he writes in his sci-fi. Just, I freaking love it. So I'm really looking forward to this one. Next is The Familiar by Lee Bardugo. This is a historical magical realism. I don't know if this is young adult or not. I don't think it is. Anyways, this is coming out April 9th. In a shabby house on a shabby street in the new capital of Madrid, Louisa uses scraps of magic to get through her days of endless toil as a scullion. But when her scheming mistress discovers the lump of a servant cowering in the kitchen is actually hiding a talent for little miracles, she demands Louisa use those gifts to improve the family's social position. What begins as simple amusement for the nobility takes a perilous turn when Louisa garners the notice of Antonio Perez, the disgraced secretary to Spain's king. Still reeling from the defeat of his armada, the king is desperate for any advantage in the war against England's heretic queen, and Perez will stop at nothing to regain the king's favor. Determined to seize this one chance to better her fortunes, Louisa plunges into a world of seers and alchemists, holy men and hucksters, where the lines between magic, science, and fraud are never certain. But as her notoriety grows, so does the danger that her Jewish blood will doom her to the Inquisition's wrath. She will have to use every bit of her wit and will to survive, even if that means enlisting the help of Golian Santiago, an embittered immortal familiar whose own secrets could prove deadly for them both. Sounds wonderful. Love it. I'm really looking forward to this. I actually pre-ordered this book months ago, and every time I see it, I want it in my hands. I freaking love this cover. It reminds me of, anybody watch that TV show, Penny Dreadful? This cover reminds me of her, like her hand, anyways. I actually pre-ordered the Waterstones special edition, which is supposed to have like sprayed edges and beautiful end pages, and I believe the edition is still open for purchase, so I'm gonna put the link down in the description box if you're interested in ordering that edition. All right, moving on is another horror, Immortal Pleasures by V. Castro. This is coming out April 16th. Says an ancient Aztec vampire roams the modern world in search of vengeance and love, and this seductive dark fantasy from the author of The Haunting of Alejandra. V. Castro is another autobi. I love her characters, and she always has a really good mix of culture and lore with what she writes. And I mean, come on. It's really hard to pass up a book about an Aztec vampire. You know what I mean? I got an arc of this through NetGalley. So thank you to Del Rey for that. However, I do think I'm actually going to purchase a copy for myself because this cover is freaking stunning. Anywho, moving on. We got another horror, Indian Barrel Drown by Nick Medina. Also coming out April 16th. A man lunges in front of a car. Oh dear. An elderly woman silently drowns herself. A corpse sits up in its coffin and speaks. On this reservation, not all is what it seems in this new spine-chilling mythological horror from the author of Sisters of the Lost Nation. You know, I don't really want to read anymore, and all of that just piques my interest. You know what I mean? And lastly, for April 16th is a short story collection, Weird Black Girls by Elwyn Cotman. From Philip K. Dick Award finalist Elwyn Cotman comes an irresistibly unnerving collection of stories that explore the anxieties of living while black. A high-wire act of literary fantastical hybrid fiction. A rural town finds itself under the authoritarian sway of a tree that punishes children. A pair of old friends navigate their fraught history as strange happenings escalate in a Mexican restaurant. A pair of narcissistic friends wreak havoc on an activist community. An aloof young man finds himself living through his lover's memories. And a day of LARPing takes a cosmic turn. In each of the 7 stories in this collection, characters pursue their obsessions on paths to glory and destruction, while around them the worlds twist and warp, oscillating between reality and impossibility. Well, doesn't that sound freaking awesome? Always love a good short story collection, and I've already seen some buzz about this, and it's getting a lot of high praise, so definitely need to pick this one up. And next is One of You by Aaron E. Adams. This is coming out April 23rd. A mysterious outsider torments 2 hiding American sisters, forcing them to confront dark secrets from their family's past in this powerful psychological suspense novel from the acclaimed author of Jackal. What would you sacrifice to become human? I mean, to become American. 2 very different things. Yeah, sounds good. This is marketed as horror, Um, but the cover just doesn't ring horror to me. But I did enjoy Jackal. So I'm excited to pick up her next book. I think Jackal was her debut, so I'm always love when authors continue to publish books. So I will support. Next is First Light by Liz Karen. This is a horror novel coming out April 23rd. It says, I came all this way to watch you burn. Ooh, that's a good opening. It says First Light is the riveting sequel to Liz Kern's Night Edge. It's about seizing a brighter future by confronting the shadows of our past. Like it said, this is book 2. I didn't want to read any of the synopsis of this because, again, this is a sequel, and I actually haven't read the first book, so I didn't want to spoil anything for myself or for you. But it does say that the first book, Night's Edge, takes a bite out of vampire lore in the blood-soaked novel about the darkest secrets we hide and how monstrous we can be to the ones we love most. So I'm guessing First Light is just more vampire goodness. I bought the first one last year and never really read it, so it only seems fair to buy book 2 and put it next to book 1 and never read this one also. Next is Funny Story by Emily Henry. This is a romance that is coming out April 23rd. It is a shimmering, joyful new novel about a pair of opposites with the wrong thing in common. Are you all surprised to see a romance on my list? I trust Emily Henry and will always pick up a book by her. I'm excited for this. I really don't need to read much of the synopsis to convince me. And I really love the Waterstone editions of her books. I pre-ordered one. It has a different cover than the US editions, and it has these really nice sprayed edges. I just love it. I believe it still is up on the website, so I'll put a link up to that edition in the description box as well. All right, moving on. We have Oracle by Thomas Oldholt. This is a horror coming out April 30th. It says from international bestseller Thomas Oldholt comes Oracle, a supernatural thriller where an omen from our past threatens the return of ancient forces that will change the world forever. Yes. I've read 2 of his other books. Hex, which I freaking loved. I read it so long ago, and to this day, it's still one of my favorite books. And Echo, which was alright. It was creepy in itself. But I'm pretty interested in this. Thomas has a way with atmosphere, and I'm really looking forward to see what new stuff he's bringing to the horror genre. So, long time coming. And lastly is Home is Where the Bodies Are by Geneva Rose. This is a mystery thriller, coming out April 30th. From New York Times bestselling author of The Perfect Marriage and You Shouldn't Have Come Here comes a chilling family thriller about the sometimes literal skeletons in the closet. After their mother passes, 3 estranged siblings reunite to sort out her estate. While going through their parents' belongings, the siblings stumble upon a collection of home videos and decide to revisit those happier memories. However, the nostalgia is cut short when one of the VHS tapes reveals a night back in 1999 that none of them have any recollection of. And it was a bloody night. Ooh, sounds good. This is another one I pre-ordered. I actually pre-ordered the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition because it looked like it came in like this VHS sleeve, which just made my heart happy. I'm gonna put the link in the description box. But at the time of putting up this video, when I checked it out, it said it was sold out online. But I'm still gonna put the link. Maybe they'll do another round of pre-orders, or once the book comes out, they'll reopen that exclusive edition page again. But yeah, that's it for my list. There are so many good books coming out this year, and they're coming hard for the special editions this year. So many beautiful ones. Drop a comment below and let me know if there are any other April releases you're excited about. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.